Teen Life Guide. Chapter 1. Teen Life Guide. Teen Life. I noticed most of my friends bored with life when we were hanging around the schoolyard at night in grade 9, smoking cigarettes and dope, drinking cheap wine. I was brainwashed to be successful within the system back then, but I was curious and inspired even as a clone. They didn't give a crap about much of anything beyond making enough money at any job that paid well to be comfortable and entertained. There was no spark to feel anything intense, to do anything, to be inspired, to feel euphoric about life. There was no drive to do something that makes you feel really good. By then, I was working out and doing creative things on my own. When I was a teen, I wanted to have fun, explore the world, explore love and sex, get high, find excitement and adventure while getting serious about having a skill and career out there in capitalist wage slave land to earn enough money to pay my way. I know there are timid girls and mama's boys who want to stay home and have no desire to explore their lives on their own, but for me it was natural to want to see what was out there geographically and people-wise, so I joined the military at 17 as a poor man's way of experiencing life with a guaranteed roof over my head. Young people in the modern Western nations need help in growing up because many have been living in a fantasy bubble of Disney-esque, liberal, middle-class niceness on TV and in school, which is a big delusion and a fraud next to way human nature really is and the way people live out in the competitive world where everyone is groveling for money but pretending to be nice, cheery, helpful people on face. I know I have to earn living, but beyond that, I will only listen to myself and live by my own standard by releasing the natural energy that lives inside of me every day when I wake up. This is an advanced lifestyle next to the naivete of any young person who has not explored their own minds and their own thoughts or the outside world and the way people live out there as opposed to what they were taught in school or saw on TV, YouTube, etc. The real world is way different from the easy-breezy TV world you were brought up by. People are much more evil and nastier in real life, but you have to learn it for yourself. I was brought up in a working-class family. My father owned a meat business. My brothers and I worked there all the time. You would think I had some semblance of street smarts or people smarts being from such an extrovert family with 6 kids. I was constantly dealing with my friends plus my siblings' friends and my father's friends both at the meat store and in life, being an alcoholic with all his alcoholic buddies hanging around drinking, but I was so naive when I hit that military college, Collège Militaire Royal de Saint-Jean in Saint-Jean, Quebec, that it was a great revealing shock when I realized humanity is more like Machiavelli's The Prince and William Golding's novel Lord of the Flies than all that crap I was taught in church, school and on TV about people being well-intentioned, nice, and friendly. Many people will throw you under the bus in a second if it will save them some trouble, give them some advantage or material gain, even though everyone pretends they're not like that. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and everybody except for a very few people thinks they have great intentions. This is the big thing about life that no teacher will tell you about or that you will never see in any book, the fact that we live in a competitive, cutthroat world where we're all trained to put on a nice, phony social face, but nothing has changed since Cain slaughtered Abel in the Bible because he was jealous of him. There are a few good human beings, but I think like Mahatma Gandhi. He said he would become a Christian if he ever met one. I have long since lost my love or trust in the human race. People in general are trivial, selfish gluttons underneath the glitter. You better learn that lesson if you don't want to get burned in some way, ripped off, used, abused, raped or even murdered. All anyone really owns beyond the basic things you need for material comfort is your natural sense of exuberance or inspiration. All people over 35 are jealous of young people because they have the grace of youth. A great life is simply to keep a hold of your true nature by releasing that natural energy, doing what you love to do every day, but hardly anyone lives like this. Most people are mundane and average. If you're not, the capitalist world will make you that way. As far as love goes, by the time you're 18 years old, you've seen at least 10,000 love shows and movies on TV, so you're in love with the idea of being in love, but nobody ever told me about my hormones and sense of existential loneliness. By listening to my hormones, I learned that I'm a sex addict by nature, as is every man with normal levels of testosterone. No matter how much I fall passionately head over heels in love with anyone, it always fades drastically within a year at the most. This is the true biological nature of man, to constantly be aroused by all attractive females, not this monogamy lie they've tried to brainwash us with. I was brought up to believe that romantic love would change the quality of my life by a quantum leap, that I would be forevermore walking on air after falling in love, but the truth is that nothing much changes. You're still a loner stuck in your own head, known to no one but you, and still have to deal with earning your own sense of self-respect and euphoria day by day, regardless of if you're single or coupled. The big thing about growing up to become a true individual is that you are able to separate yourself from indoctrination, including all that cutesy stuff on TV geared to enslave you to other people's ideas of coolness and success and make you an eternal consumer living in a box. Most people learn about life through experience in the school of hard knocks. I can help you cut through some of those hard knocks if you are willing to take the time to read this book. If you want to see what the psychobablists say about childhood and teenhood, try number 155-158, Self-Help, number 300, number 307, number 370, number 379, Education, and number 649 at the library. I saw a famous Father Knows Best type of TV talk show host hyping his book about child and teen life advice on his show. I thought it's good to be a positive force in society, but if you offer advice that is incomplete, one-dimensional, wrong, or follows some ideology you might have that is not freely thought out knowledge that everyone can relate to from their natural intuition, then you're a self-righteous liar preaching stupid rules and ideas that go against people's true natures. This is not a cutsy youth advice book telling you to eat your cereal, go to bed early and be disciplined. That's all one-dimensional advice that fails because it's not who you are in your true nature. I'm telling you to discover who you are in your pure essence. Don't make the big mistake thinking that other people, namely system-sanctioned professionals and the social sciences formal knowledge infrastructure, have wisdom about life that you don't have. All the wisdom in the universe is inside of you if you listen for it. Everything else about the human condition is someone else's BS, including a lot of religious dogma, which I think is good to a point, to not hurt your fellow man, but bad when they start telling you to hate the gay life, which is natural for some people, or seek out monogamy, which is not natural. By the time they're 16, every normal healthy guy should be masturbating at least 3 times a day by nature. Then society says limit your sexuality to one woman for life. I went through the whole deal within society as a well-intentioned, ambitious clone, always feeling that something was wrong, until I eventually realized that I was living in this bullshit world created for me by others. I have to earn a living, but beyond that they will not get my soul. I will not be anyone's clone. I will not pick a sports team and cheer for it. I will not vote in any election. I will not worship the people they present to me as celebrities. That's all bullshit created by others to control me. Everything out there is someone else's truth, mostly a lie. There are standards of absolute morality like the 10 Commandments and the idea that you shouldn't take more than you need, but that's it. My wisdom is knowing my own natural standard in life and honoring it. This is as good as it gets. When someone throws artificial values at us, it messes weak, unenlightened people up, which is virtually everyone under 23. You can be intelligent and functional as in holding down a job, but most people do not get true wisdom and enlightenment until they live alone for a while to experience life and think about it day after day. Just because someone gives you a stern look and pretends they're a pillar of the community doesn't mean anything to me, because I know that what I feel and think is the same as every man feels and thinks. You cannot deny who you are by nature. If you do, you will live a messed up, miserable life. We shouldn't deal with sex by saying be monogamous and that's it, because it's not true, but I won't touch that here. You live in your own head alone, regardless of what social group or community you might think you're part of. Everybody is a loner going through life alone most of the time. A lot of young people don't know this. They give too much power to what the collective group says about them. You should listen to the voice within. That's the most powerful thing you own. As long as you don't break any laws, hurt people or animals, or do anything immoral, your life is yours to do with as you please. The problem is that a lot of young people buy into other people's views of life, plus they buy into the view of life marketed on TV. This book will help open your mind to the truth, which is that if you discover your true nature, then honor it by releasing most of that natural energy inside of you every day to do something good that you like to do and are proud of. You will live a much better life than most people. The only way to be a winner in life is to do exactly what you want, the way you want to do it, in such a way that other people will line up to pay you for your product or service, whatever it may be. I believe every one of us has some manner of this gift within themselves. You just have to find it, work hard at it, and believe in yourself when nobody else does. The way to get rich is to find a problem that needs to be solved and solve it. Find a need and fill it. You either have to be first, best, different, novel, or a combination of all these elements. The beauty of life, in my view, is that just about all of us have a talent, predisposition, or skill that we love to do that comes easy to us but not for others, so we have the option of channeling these gifts into meaningful pursuits for the good of the world and earn our keep in the process. Do what you love that has some value to some people and make enough money to cover your bills from it. If you don't feel you have natural talents, you can create them via hard work like everybody else does, even if they have natural talents. It really is 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration, but the trick is to love it when you sweat. Capitalism is a good system, to find your natural talents that somehow fill a need in society, pursue them to make you feel good, help people in the process, and get rich off it. Thank God for the freedom of capitalism. This is as good as it gets. In Proverbs 11:25 they say, help others and you will be helped. This is the golden rule in business. Help other people and they will give you the money to go off and do whatever you want in your search for your vision of Eden. Selfishness is an illusory concept because many people who act out of self-interest are necessarily working their butts off to be useful to other people so that they can get rich and satisfy their selfish motives. It's a fine concept and probably the greatest motivator of all, the selfishness to live your life your way so you bust your butt doing things you love anyway that others will appreciate and pay for. Creative types typically exchange security for freedom while normals exchange freedom for security. Virtually all of us want both. Every job, regardless of how interesting, gets boring if done in a daily routine. The only solution I know of to find true, total freedom other than winning the lottery or getting an inheritance is to come up with a concept or product that's so unique, superior, and good that people want it, then sell 1 million or so copies and you're all set. I've come to the realization that money is the ultimate instrument of freedom, thus, if you don't have much but are a creative free spirit, life becomes a circle of inspiration followed by concern with trivial matters of money, followed by another cycle of inspiration followed by other material, trivial concerns, and that's the way it goes until the day you hope you hit the motherlode, the big score so to speak. You become financially free to live out the rest of your life in peace. The creative American dream is to do what you love to fill a need that helps people and get rich in the process. Be smart, use your head, come up with something, sell it to a major distributor, make your fortune, then leave the dull, boring day-to-day grind of the real world behind and get to the real business of living a great life. Competition is fierce, but nothing can stop a great idea whose time has come. We all have great minds if we choose to use them. One great idea can net anyone a great fortune without doing much work because you simply sell off the rights or license them to a manufacturer who does the business end and pays you a commission, thus alleviating the hassles of running a business. All teens are confused because they've been brainwashed all their lives. I looked around for a practical book about growing up for teenagers, a book about the confusion of growing up, youth rights, emancipation from parents if necessary, running away, child abuse, youth helplines, suicide crisis lines, which all stem from one thing. A young person is trying to break free from parents and family, but in the confusion, they often fall prey to massive indoctrinating forces of society which range from frivolous pop culture ideas to ambitious capitalism, all of which are ultimately bad because they're not you in your pure essence. Many people think it's great if they see a young person trying to achieve something within the system, like be good in school or be ambitious and work hard somewhere, but ultimately most things are a brainwashing factory. Granted, we're all wage slaves and have to earn a living, but we don't have to sell our souls, our purity as human beings, to the system. I was considered a gifted kid. I was ambitious within the system. At 17, I entered a military college as a naive young man. After 4 years there I had seen enough meanness, ugliness, phoniness, and evil that resides in the hearts of all men. We inherently have good and evil within ourselves, but it's the system's fault for organizing us into a rank structure, telling us to go for their reward system, which was rank in the military college. This transfers to promotion and money when you leave and go into the corporate world. This was the game most of my peers bought into at the military college. I watched this Machiavellian world unfold in front of me. I had my own inner voice. I stayed cool. I worked out and got my degree from the place. I was still brainwashed when I left, but by then I had figured out there is no real idealism or good intentions in the real world. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Everybody thinks they're a good person, even scummy evil people. The capitalist system, by design, makes us a bunch of competitive, cutthroat phonies buying into that system that Forbes magazine worships every month in their magazine. But the truth is that nobody really owns anything much except for their bodies, the present moment, and a block of finite time. They want us to work ourselves to the bone for the system, for the man, for what? All you have is a true nature and natural energy every day. The best life possible is to know this and make a pact with yourself to live to release this natural energy inside of you every day, day after day. My purpose in this book is to say you need to earn a living, but there are 3 main energies in life. Your natural energy, an endless supply of inspiration. Artificial energy following the artificial values of the world not inherent to you. Coach potato energy, being a passive wimp, not doing much of anything except for frivolous pursuits like watching TV, playing video games, getting high. Don't let the system get you and take you over. Keep a hold of your soul, who you really are. Self-respect is all anyone ever has, you have to earn it. Ask anyone what self-respect is and they will probably give you some psychobabble bull about feeling good about yourself. You can't feel good about yourself if you're a bag of crap, if you do nothing to honor who were naturally born to be constantly day after day to match an intuitive standard you should feel within yourself of who you were born with the natural inclination to be by nature. Most people follow the artificial values of the world, which are mostly the values of capitalist ambition, materialism, and pop culture coolness, rather than following what they feel within themselves, which is their true nature. If you don't release the natural energy in your soul that is inside of you every day when you wake up, you betray yourself one day at a time. Day after day over time, you lose a hold of a strong vital body, your mind becomes soft, lost, and unfocused, and you feel terrible even if you don't know that it's because you're betraying yourself. The empty feeling comes from the self-betrayal of not releasing your natural energy. Almost everybody lives at some level of self-betrayal because they don't understand that they are simply an essence that they must honor in order to feel peaceful and harmonious. Honor who you were born to be by nature, not buying into the world's bullshit. If the world changes you, stresses you out, makes you a big bag of shit hooked on junk food and all that crap on TV, you lose at life and you're a sucker for buying into the capitalist pop culture marketing machine. Happiness is harmony with your true nature soul, the divine essence God gave you. Earn your self-respect and well-being by releasing this natural energy inside of you all the time, made up of the following 5 energies. Inspired, sexual, loving, hedonistic, fun, practical. If you don't consciously live to release this energy that's inside of you all the time, you end up a mundane piece of crap with no highs in life. A natural high is the feeling you get when you release some of that natural energy inside of you with intensity. You get a freeing effect, like you're freeing yourself from the mundanity of the human condition. That's it. That's the key to life. Life is about releasing the natural energy in your soul day after day to honor who God created you to be. Be who you are by nature. Live life as it unfolds in front of you minute by minute, day by day. Use your powers to the limits for good in order to honor whatever created you to the fullest. Suppose you're struck down with a major disease or illness right now. What will you be thinking about in the hospital bed tonight? What's really important in life? Is life a sleepwalking affair where you go along with what's presented to you, or do you try to do what you feel you were born to do? Enlightenment is knowing your true nature, then releasing that natural energy every day to the best of your ability with intensity and love for the process to match an intuitive standard you should feel within yourself of who you were born to be, given by the divine power of the universe, God, through your DNA and the divine soul that entered your fetus at some point in time in the womb. Buddhists say day 49, if you believe in the supernatural dimension, which I do. People have to earn a living though, so most of the time whatever beauty, lust, inspiration, power, greatness, and vitality there is in your soul fades away as you work some average, routine job day after day. People lose a strong sense of their free spirit, so they look for a cheap thrill to try to bring them up a notch for a minute, but over time, this self-betrayal of not being who you were born to be by nature, not releasing that natural energy in your free spirit, beats a lot of people down into being pacified mundane people who do nothing much but work a job, consume pop culture entertainment, eat junk food and buy meaningless junk at the mall. Teen angst. Teenagers will have sex regardless of what you tell them. To deny the urge to have sex in teenagers hasn't worked since the dawn of time. The purpose of life is to discover yourself enough to feel comfortable in your own skin. Teen angst is the confusion a young person feels about life because he or she is insecure, naive, and immature. This is compounded by the inherent self-centeredness of young people. They generally only see the world from their own egocentric point of view. They can't get out of their little boxes to see it from the points of views of others. Many don't realize that the world doesn't revolve around them. The paradox of young people in general is that they think they know it all, think they're smarter than their parents and most other adults, but deep inside, if they were to examine themselves honestly, they would see a scared person afraid of the future with the pressures of being successful out in the world. Teenagehood is a stage where the child feels too cool and too grown up to respect his parents much, but he or she is too naive and scared to stand fully on their own as mature human beings, so they're stuck in limbo for the moment. They try to put on the phony front about how wise, cool and enlightened they are, but this mostly a facade hiding a scared kid, as all kids are, because they feel the pressure of making it in the adult world right around the corner, and every kid is afraid of making it out in the real world regardless of whether they'll admit to it or not. The problem with all teenagers is the problem all human beings have until and unless they find enlightenment. It's more visible with kids because they have not yet learned to be calm about their lives, to realize that the sun still comes up every day no matter what. They were raised on the I want it all, I want it now mantra, and when they don't get it all now as fast as they want or expected to, they fall to pieces and get depressed. The average kid is trying to break away from the influence of his parents to assert his own identity, but the problem is that he or she is not yet strong enough or mature enough to understand who they really are. The corporate marketers know this, which is why they try to get their hooks into young people by relentlessly advertising to them, while the pop culture entertainment people try to tell them what's cool and trendy so that they can buy it and then feel like they belong to this fake, manufactured cool tribe of society. Very few young people are strong enough to resist this powerful indoctrinating force and stand on their own as individuals. Think of a bunch of concentric circles all inside of one another. The smallest, innermost circle is the pure essence of the person. All the other outer circles represent the influences of the world, parents, school, peers, church, the media, government propaganda, pop culture entertainment, music videos, etc. The challenge of life for any individual is to resist the forces of the world to find their true essences, the pure part which is the innermost circle, then seek to earn a living from this, but most people do it the other way around. They allow themselves to be influenced by the forces of the world and look to it for guidance on how to earn a living and what to do in order to feel good, cool, and trendy. This is teen angst, the opposing forces inside of a confused, naive young person. Their parents are telling them one thing, the characters on MTV and TV are showing them a fake, glamorous, cool fantasy world. Their friends are all brainwashed by this fake fantasy world acting this way. The church is telling them to be wise and prudent while there's an inner voice deep inside telling them what to do. Most teens will be seduced by the world formula and never discover their true identities, or if they do, it will be after half a life doing a job they don't really like and being in a marriage they didn't really want in the first place but did because they were indoctrinated by social forces to do. Is it any wonder most teens are messed up? And on top of it, they put on these phony fronts about how wise, cool, and sophisticated they think they are. When you add sex and love into the equation you open up a whole new can of worms. Most young people are confused about the difference between sex without love and sex with love. Most young guys have a sex object view of women. If they don't, they're way ahead of the curve because women are portrayed as sex objects all throughout the pop culture media and in porn movies, there for man's pleasure with no forethought of the girl as a human being with her own passionate needs. Girls are confused too. They base their worth on their looks and beauty. They tie it into their identities but they don't realize that this power over men is temporary, that men don't care once they get sex out of the deal and besides, all beauty fades with age so you got a lot of young girls with arrogant demeanors on the outside but nothing of substance on the inside. Teenagers should learn to calm down, not take life so hard, live day by day and try to find a happy medium between discovering and developing themselves as individuals while playing the game of the world system in order to learn the means to earn a living. The truth is that most people never progress much as human beings beyond who they were as teenagers. They find some middle ground where they still have not discovered their true essences as individuals but are earning a paycheck and doing all right by society's standards so they get an apartment, get married, have kids, and go on stuck in this identity limbo. It's only that now they're comfortably on their own, paying their bills so even though the teen angst which is identity crisis angst is still in there, the edge has been taken off by the seduction of the pop culture media which has spawned a comfortably numb consumeristic lifestyle among them. Books about teenagers are at number 306.874 or HQ 755.86 at the library. Teen Spirit. Parents and others want to know what teens are thinking in their own words. It's as though they can't remember being teenagers themselves. I can relate to this. Even though my essence hasn't changed, I feel so much wiser than I was back then. Being self-centered, naive, arrogant, and insecure all at the same time kept me confused for several years. Sometimes I felt arrogant, young, and cocky, other times I was a scared kid. Back then, I couldn't get to life fast enough. I wanted it all, I wanted it now, success out in the world, material things, status, and everything else but over time I realized most of the stuff from out in the world doesn't matter beyond keeping a roof over your head. Everybody sleeps in their own space sooner or later. The intense friendships of youth give way to more solitary lives as you age. By 40, most of us are a bunch of loners living in our own space. This is the way life works. Youth is the time of excessive dreams, excessive friendships, excessive partying, intense emotions but sooner or later you realize it's all teen spirit, the transient experiences of growing up. Enlightenment comes when you find out what really inspires you on daily basis. Teen spirit is good for helping you do a lot of different things in the journey that hopefully ends with you finding your true identity. Back to the question of what is going on in a teenager's mind. You can check out teenage websites to see what they're saying. I went to number 306.874 and HQ 799 at the library where I found books about parents talking about teens and teens talking about life in general and parents. What teens say. The following are some things teens say about life, love, and their parents. Regardless of whether you're a parent or teenager, you can go through each point and analyze what would you do in such a situation. My parents don't understand me or respect because they never talk to me. They just bark orders and criticize. I want them to show some respect and understand me. Talk to me in a real way. Listen to me when I want to talk. Why do you put me down all the time? Trust me more. Give me more credit than some dumb moron. Life is a dance. I want to dance it my way. If I get tired of this dance or the music stops, I can try another dance. Don't push me towards the dull, one-dimensional, capitalist American dream yet. You don't have to ask me stupid questions all the time just to get a read on me. I'm fine. I just don't feel like talking. I want to be alone in my thoughts for a while. I'm trying to grow up. Don't disrespect me. Be subtle when you're criticizing me as opposed to saying rude, insensitive things to my face. I don't want my dad teasing me because I don't play sports or put my sister down because she's overweight. We teens are much more sensitive than adults. So what if I masturbate and got a few porno videos? I'm normal. Leave me alone. Dr. Pill is a fat asshole and OPA is a phony, overrated bitch with thunder thighs. Don't tell me about their psychobabble crap. Let them go eat another cheesy and masturbate to their own psychobabble. That's what's wrong with America, all that phony psychobabble. I want to start on the road to independence. Don't try to control me. Even though I live in my parents' house, I should have total privacy in my room. They can't just come in and snoop around. They can't come in without knocking. If I'm over 16, they shouldn't snoop on my internet usage. Parents shouldn't boss me around like a kid. I feel down sometimes, but I'm not suicidal. I have to learn to have a happier mood. I have to find something that inspires me. I'm not a baby, Mom. I'm trying to be an adult, but they treat me like a kid. I don't need their sex talk, I don't want it. I don't want prying questions about love or sex. There are plenty of sex education and relationship shows on TV, and there are plenty of books on the subject at number 306.7 and number 613.96 at the library. Don't ask me personal questions that are nobody's business but mine. Will you buy me the new Pussy Dog album? Rap is cool shit and I'm a brainwashed idiot. Don't criticize my bad habits. Let me learn on my own by getting burnt. If I use the internet a lot, so what? I'll learn that it's frivolous in due time. If I want to smoke, so what? I'll learn on my own that it's stupid. Don't plan my life out for me. I can go to college anytime. I want to find my true identity, not just be a doctor like Dad because he wants me to. I want to live free for a while, trying different things without jumping into a career. I can always go to college later if I want. Don't be nosy and ask my brothers and sisters, friends, and teachers about me. Ask me straight up if something is on your mind. Don't compare me to other teenagers and tell me all the wonderful things they're doing. Don't set my bedtime. I know how much sleep I need. So what if I get low marks? I'm not into it right now. I can always get a GED when I'm ready. Besides, I want to be an artist. I don't need school for that. I should be able to watch what I want on TV. I'm gonna do it anyway when I move out in a couple of years. Don't overprotect me from the outside world. I have to see it for myself. There's risk in everything. Don't embarrass me by trying to act too cool in front of my friends. Don't force food on me. Don't take your anger and frustration in life in general out on me. Give me space to discover my own identity. Don't get on my case about my homework. I'm the captain of my life. Let me fail or succeed on my own. Just because I like to wear makeup and like to do ballet doesn't mean I'm gay, and so what if I am? It's your religion, not mine. I don't believe in Allah anymore. I want to quit soccer. That was your dream, not mine. I never wanted to play it anyway. If I make you angry like you say I do, it's your fault. You create it all in your head. It's the same with worry. Don't worry about me. It doesn't solve anything. Don't watch all that crap on them stupid talk shows then try to apply it to me. Don't get in my face. Give me some space. So what if I drink and do dope? I'm just a curious life seeker. I'm gonna be free to do it when I go to college next year anyway. I know you worry about me, but I can take care of myself. Just let me go out the party on Saturday night to be with my friends. So what if it's a porno website? I'm a normal, healthy, curious 16-year-old. I'm gonna be able to do it when I leave the house at 18 anyway. I can't stand my brothers and sisters. They bother me, tease me, are nosy and get in my space. I need some privacy away from them. I can't stand my big brother acting like my second father, always trying to get me to live up to his standards. Leave me alone to chart my own course. Why am I the black sheep? You treat them good, you treat me like you don't love me. Do I remind you of Dad? Why is everybody always picking on me? Don't put those guilt trips on me to try to manipulate me. Don't tell me who I can or can't hang out with. Why do you hate them? Are you prejudiced? Don't ask my friends a lot of embarrassing questions. Don't say embarrassing things in front of my friends. I can wear what I want. If I want a tattoo, it's my business. I'm the one who has to live with it. If I don't wear trendy clothes, everybody will call me a nerd. You say money doesn't grow on trees, so why did you have me if you won't spend money on me? I need the cell phone for communication and the car for transportation. So what if I listen to punk rock? It's just entertainment. Great expectations. Wishful thinking and self-delusion are the greatest illusions on the planet, but they help most of us cope with reality. We see the world through rose-colored glasses, which makes it bearable, especially in the light of all that stuff we're constantly bombarded with on TV and in magazines about these incredible lives these supposedly special, super celebrities are living out, while we're living plain lives just struggling to earn a living, and they're making $20 million per film or something like that. Most people think they're considerably prettier, morally better, smarter, friendlier, more charismatic, attractive and kinder than they actually are in the cold light of objective reality. Many people, not just young ones, have no scope of the reality of life. They watch TV, see a bunch of good-looking people there, but don't realize these are all good-looking actors. The people in any community are not as good-looking, funny and easygoing as this. They see how easily people seem to meet other people, get into relationships, have casual sex, etc., and think the real world is like this. They don't seem to realize how paranoid, aloof, insecure, depressed and suspicious many people are out there in the real world. In short, almost all young people live in fantasy worlds as far as their life plans and expectations go. Girls are worse because of the incredible brainwash they buy into about being special princesses who will meet Prince Charming, who will be rich, kind, and nice, and they will live happily ever after. There was a documentary on TV about these young women who they referred to as Southern Belles, who were going to this big ball that was called a cat island or something like that. Anyway, if you want to see delusion, you should have seen them talking amongst themselves after they were all presented to the community. This is what they do. They all parade out with their fathers and some soldier guy as an escort, where some master of ceremonies reads a paragraph about them, after which they all feel special and elite. I think we're so massively brainwashed by pop culture entertainment that we think we will just automatically marry a perfect beauty, work a good job in a relaxed, fun, stress-free workplace, have a nice, big home in the suburbs and own a few cars. Young people don't seem to realize that all of these things take hard work, including love, marriage, and family, and very rarely does anyone get everything they want in life, including true love, material prosperity, aesthetic pleasure, and fulfilling their destinies as individuals. The real world is not the same as what's on TV. There are no perfect people out there. You will not get everything you want out of life. You will have to work hard for everything, but if you're smart, your work will be joy because it will come out of your natural inspiration for life. If you want to get enlightened, you will have to reach a point where you can throw off the indoctrination you have been brought to believe in to live by what you truly feel within yourself, like Tom Sawyer did. When you hit this point, if ever, your ideals from the life lived in a capitalist, pop culture world will give way to the truth and purity that really lives in your soul. At this point, you will be ready for an honest monogamous relationship if that's what you want, rather than just wanting some caricature of some cute guy in a boy band or some slim chick with fake boobs and fake blonde hair. If you have great expectations, look in the mirror, then get real. You will get what you deserve. You will deserve what you put forth in sweat in trying to be a good person, trying to fulfill your true destiny in your soul. This is all you ever own anyway, what's in your soul. To fulfill it is to match your expectations, to not fulfill it but instead to try to reach some expectations from the world will ultimately result in an empty feeling at not being who you really are inside. The soap operas and the sitcoms make life seem so easy, breezy, cool. Nobody masturbates. They're all having too much fun poking each other, but sex is portrayed as this clean, fun, easygoing, sterile, compartmentalized thing, unlike in the real world where it's full of lust, love, smell, sweat, insecurity, disrespect, and hard work at times. Girls in porno movies and music videos might look like ready, willing, and able sluts, but if you treat a girl like that in real life, you won't get anywhere with her. There are so many fantasies and misconceptions out there that I can't begin to mention them here. Instead, trust yourself. Listen to what's out there to learn about the world, but always analyze everything and make your own decisions based on your internal regulator, your soul and intuition, to tell you the right way to travel through life. Passion rarely lasts forever. People who pledge undying love often fall out of love within 3 years, especially if they're under 30 years old. They are simply not mature enough to commit to love yet. If you think you can't get pregnant, get AIDS, get raped, get into a bad car accident or die of an overdose, think again. You are no more special than any other human being in human matters like this. You might have a special mind, but it can't protect you from the regular tragedies of life. Nobody is young, sexy, beautiful, and vital all the time except in the movies and on TV. People are not givens, static entities that never change. If you want friendship and love, you have to treat them with love all the time. Life is scary, relationships are scary. The difference between the winners and the losers is that the winners accept the fear as an interesting new experience and do it anyway, while the losers shrivel up and stay in their little ruts. The path to enlightenment is never painless, presuming you want to find enlightenment. Question everything you have ever been brought up to believe in. Parents' teens. Make rules. Write them out. Hang them up. This is the standard, the code of conduct. Punishments for transgressions could be taking away something good like allowance money, the TV, computer games, don't drive them around, etc. Try to make some kind of family ritual like eating together every night. Don't be nitpicky. Pick your fights. Be emotionally connected to your child. Teens may think they got it all figured out. They're overly self-centered at this age and their organic brains are still immature. Try to be friends with your teen. Parents have to be ready for the almost universal phase of rebellion among their adolescent children. Just hang back, give them enough rope to see what's out there and possibly get burned but not killed, drug abuse, car accidents, hanging with the wrong people when exploring the wild side. Let them know you will always be there to love them no matter what. The hard thing about being the parent of an unruly teen is, where do you draw the line of permissiveness and order for the safety of the child? You know that most kids are gonna drink alcohol, do drugs, and try for sexual experiences. They will do these things anyway once they leave home, but where do you draw the line to keep them from overdosing, getting in a car accident, or getting tied up with the wrong people who will hurt them? You can't keep a tight rein on them, but if you love them, you have to impose some amount of structure in order to teach them the ways of the world. Most kids are naive. They think that most people out there are good. I think the other way around. I'm a cynic. I feel that if there is a drunk girl at a party or in a social situation, many so-called nice guys will try to have sex with her if they think they have a chance. You have to educate teens about these things. Treat them maturely. Explain your reasons for your concerns. Explain that teenagers in general are poor drivers because they don't have experience on the road, which is why you don't want them driving at night. Explain the concept of overdosing to them, which is the craving to keep getting higher until you take in too much drugs and your body shuts down. Explain the concept of control in social situations, both self-control and not getting too intoxicated, and being wary if you're around questionable people who you feel might try something if they get the opportunity. Tell them to leave any situation immediately if their intuition tells them these people are bad news or dangerous. Focus on having a healthy, mature relationship with your children. Don't baby them anymore. Be wary of the anger frustration trap. Everybody gets frustrated because life never works out perfectly for anyone, but the big mistake most people make is that they take out this anger on the people least likely to fight back, their families. Learn to deal with your frustrations. Don't take your anger out on your family. Tell your kids that they're not there to please you. They're there to discover themselves and live happy, fulfilled lives for themselves. And as for teenagers, your parents are not the fuddy-duddies you think they are. They were young once, they went through the whole growing up thing, and they're going through it again with you while you think they're out of touch old fogies. They're way ahead of you. They can read you a mile away. They might pretend they don't know what you're up to, but they really do. Don't underestimate them. Don't try to snow them. Be real with them. Let go of trying to control your children. Just keep the channels of communication open. Help them with money and things if they need it. After all, you are their parents. As long as they're trying in life, help them. Only give tough love if they're degenerating through drug abuse, depression, or cynicism. Don't be a nag, a busybody, a critic, or nosy. If your child is a promiscuous drag queen, so what if he's not hurting anybody or breaking the law? Accept them for who they are. Don't impose your will and expectations on your kids. Live and let live. Tell them to find what it is that interests them, then seek to earn a living from it. Don't try to push them into the family business or profession. Let them decide for themselves. Don't be a spoiled kid. Your parents work hard. They give you what's reasonable. You have to learn to go out and earn your own money. Don't play mind games. Be straight up. Listen to each other. Try to understand the other's headspace. Try to relate on some level. Be friends, or at least be civil to each other. Be somewhat interested in each other's lives. Be mature individuals in and of yourselves. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't play family members off each other such that they're competing with each other for favor from you. Learn the art of forgiveness. Read my rants on anger elsewhere. Read some of my stuff about love and romance and apply it to the parental-child relationship. Emotional maturity is to go beyond your self-centered point of view and see it from the point of view of the other guy or gal. If you can't say it face to face, write a letter about it. Compromise is better than trying to be right and the authoritative boss all the time. Do something sociable together, like take a drive, go shopping, go for a walk, go fishing, watch TV, etc. People tend to open up in the midst of a sociable interaction with one another. Don't burden each other with your problems. Be involved in each other's lives, but give each other personal space. Don't judge. Be a good listener. Talk less. Be there as a source of unconditional love. When your kids have hard times, help them. If you don't, who else will? When your kids date, keep your nose out of their relationships. They have to learn on their own, even if it means getting heartbroken a few times. When they get married, keep your nose out of the wedding and the marriage unless they come to you looking for advice or help. Adult children have to respect parents. Talk to them as the adults they are. Stay tuned to their emotions as their lives go through changes. Don't try to fix each other. Accept each other as is. Be loving rather than critical. Make the first move towards love and reconciliation if you must, in order to salvage a broken relationship. Chapter 2. Teenager Safety Guide. Prescription drugs. Teenagers. Prescription drug abuse has become a huge problem among teens. Teenagers routinely steal their parents' prescription drugs, then look them up on the internet. They try them. If they catch a buzz, they steal more. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration says that 7 million American adults abuse prescription drugs. That's more than all the people abusing all illegal recreational substances combined. When teenagers get hooked on prescription drugs, they start stealing money to buy them on the internet. Hide your prescription drugs, or at least hide the dangerous ones. If your teenager all of a sudden develops arthritis, back pain, or some injury where he has to go to the doctor to get pain pills, watch him to see if it's all a big ruse to get drugs. Don't live in denial. samhsa.gov. Teen driver/young driver. AAANewYork.com/pdf_files/safety/teen_guide.pdf, the American Automobile Association, information for teen drivers. YD.com. Drivers.com. teendriving.com, teen driving. toyotadriven.expectations.com/em.tm/2372.web/home/teen_driver_contract.pdf, teen driving contract. iPromiseProgram.com. iPromise Program helps you and your teenager develop a safe driving contract. 247quoteus.com/vehicle/car/safe-cars-for-young-drivers. Allstate.com/auto-insurance/auto-insurance-for-teens.aspx, learn ways to help teen drivers be safe. ehow.com, make your car safer for teen drivers. insuranceyoung.html. learnhat.com/lifestyle/learn-7one-by_safe_car_teen_driver.htm. moreautomobile.com/cheap-car-driver- news.car-junkie.com/how-to-by-a-for-your-teen-cde120.shtml. safateendriver.org/car-maintenance-checks.htm. studybestvalue.serveftp.com/inexpensive-car-drive-insurance-learner.html. National Driver Training Institute. 4432 Austin Bluffs Parkway, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80918. 800-942-2050. usdrivertraining.com. Parent-Taught Driver Education Program. Chapter 3. Child Abuse Without Sexual Abuse. Child Abuse Websites. Child abuse without sex is hitting a child, emotionally taunting them, bullying them, or depriving them of life's essentials like depriving food or locking them in a room. Books about child abuse are at number 362.760 or HV6626 at the library. Books about child abuse and adults who were abused as children are at number 616.85823, HQ71, and RC 569.5 at the library. Books about childhood sexual abuse are at number 362.83 at the library. If you're uncertain about something such as corporal punishment, you should check with your local Department of Health Human Services to find out. National Child Abuse Hotline. 800-422-4283. childwelfare.gov/system-wide/laws_policies/statutes/manda.cfm, mandatory reporters of child abuse and neglect, summary of state laws. acf.dhhs.gov, Administration for Children Families. calibi.com/nccnch/scripts/searchpg.cfm, 800 FYI 3366, list of 100 plus child abuse organizations. os.dhhs.gov. childrens-center.org, serves Southwest Missouri children who are severely physically abused or sexually abused. childwelfare.gov/system-wide/laws_policies/statutes/safehaven.cfm, infant safe haven laws. preventchildabuse.org, Prevent Child Abuse America. missingkids.com, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. isbcan.org, International Society for Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect. childwelfare.gov/kin, Child Abuse and Neglect, U.S. Government Clearinghouse. childrennow.org, Children Now. SaveTheChildren.org, Save the Children. childrensdefense.org, Children's Defense Fund. AIDSkids.org, Children with AIDS Project. CommercialFreeChildhood.org, Campaign for a Commercial-Free Childhood. aaca.netlink.com.au, Australians Against Child Abuse. aacap.org/publications/facts/fam/sexabuse.htm, child sex abuse. aacap.org/web/aacap, American Academy of Child Adolescent Psychiatry. abanet.org/child/home.html, American Bar Association Center on Children Law. abanet.org/childaba, Children and the Law. abusedkid.com. acf.dhhs.gov, Administration for Children Families. acf.dhhs.gov/program/cb, Children's Bureau. acf.dhhs.gov/program/cb/stats/ncans97/cm97.htm, Child Maltreatment 1997, Reports from the States to the National Child Abuse Neglect Data System. address.com/tilde/area/onroad/index.html. afs.org.au/external/nch/menu.html, National Child Protection Clearinghouse, Australia. amerhumane.org, 800-227-4645. americanhumane.org/children/factsheets/vial_link.htm, Violence to Humans Animals, an important link. americanhumane.org/frontporch/default.htm, community-based child protection. apsic.org, American Professional Society on the Abuse of Children, APSIC. aruk.co.uk, Abuse Recovery UK. best.com. billboards.com/billboards/tsv. bitcorp.net/ucpca, Prevent Child Abuse, Utah. calibi.com/nccnch, 800 FYI 3366, Clearinghouse on Child Abuse. calibi.com/nccnch, National Clearinghouse on Child Abuse Neglect Information. calibi.com/nccnch, Natal Clearinghouse on Child Abuse. calibi.com/nccnch/database/previouspro.htm, Child Abuse Neglect Clearinghouse, Prevention Program Database. capcenter.org, National Information, Support Referral Service on Shaken Baby Syndrome. casanet.org, Casanet is a resource for court-appointed special advocates. casati.on.ca, Central Agencies Sexual Abuse Treatment, CASAT. cdc.gov/ncipc/dvp/cmp/default.htm, Child Maltreatment, CDC. child.cornell.edu, Child Abuse Prevention Network. child.cornell.edu/child.cornell.edu, Child Abuse Prevention Network. child.cornell.edu/isbcan/isbcan.html, International Society for the Prevention of Child Abuse Neglect, ISPCAN. child.cornell.edu/ncpca/home.html, Prevent Child Abuse, New York. child.gov.ab.ca, Free online booklet Protocols for Handling Child Abuse and Neglect in Childcare. child.net/citykids.htm, National Children's Coalition. childabuse.com. childabuse.com, childabuse.org, 800-556-2722. childabuzemd.com. childabuzemd.com/law/testifying-witness.html. childabusemonument.org. childabuseprevention.com. child-abuse-prevention.com. childabuseprevention.org, Child Abuse Prevention Association, CAPA. childadvocacy.com, Best Interests, the e-magazine for children's advocates. childadvocacy.org, National Association of Child Advocates. childadvocate.org/forkids.html. childcareinfoline.com. childcybersearch.org. childcybersearch.org/rcmp, Canadian Centre for Missing Children. childfind.ca, Child Find Canada. childfind.ca/educate/scream.hte, Guidelines for Parents, Avoiding Child Abduction. childhelpusa.org, 800-4 ACLD. childhelpusa.org, Child Help USA. childhouse.uio.no, Children's House in Cyberspace. childlures.com, protect your kids from molesters. childlures.org, Child Lures Prevention. childnet-int.org, ChildNet International. childrens-center.org, The Children's Center. childrensdefense.org, Children's Defense Fund. children'sinstitute.org. children'sinstitute.org, Children's Institute International. childzc.gov.on.com. childsexualabuse.org/index.hdm, National Foundation to Prevent Child Sexual Abuse. clarknet.com/erd, links to all police departments in the world. clinicalsocialwork.com/abuse.html, abuse, child, sexual elder. cnnw.net/NMCLC, National Missing Children's Locate Center, USA. colorado.edu/CSBV, Violence Prevention. commnet.edu/QVCDC/student/Lindicane/sex abuse. commnet.edu/QVCDC/student/Lindicane/sex abuse.html, child sexual abuse. communityresources.net/help/childhelp.html. connectforkids.org, Connect for Kids. crckids.org, Children's Rights Council. crin.org, Child Rights Information Network. cs.utk.edu/%7e Bartley/index/childsexual abuse, sexual assault information page, child sexual abuse. cs.utk.edu/Bartley/index/childsexual abuse. cs.utk.edu/Bartley/other/pfisa.html, Partners Friends of Incest Survivors Anonymous. cs.utk.edu/Bartley/SACC/childabuse.html, child sexual abuse. cs.utk.edu/Bartley/SACC/childabuse.html, child sexual abuse. cs.utk.edu/Bartley/sanefoppage.html. csica.zener.com, Canadian Society for the Investigation of Child Abuse. cwlaw.org, Child Welfare League of America. cwlaw.org, Child Welfare League. cybirongles.org, cybirongles.org. cyberzitter.com. defence-for-children.org, Defense for Children International. describe.ca/childfen/educate/jic/victim.the. describe.ca/childfen/educate/jic/victim.the. divorceinfo.com/parentalabduction.htm, parental abduction in divorce. don'tshake.com, coping with crying. dss.cah.uni.gov/getser/cfsocap.html, Office of Child Abuse Prevention. edc.org/hhd/csn. edc.org/hhd/csn, Children's Safety Network. emedicinehealth.com/child_abuse/page2_m.htm, abusewatch.net. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/child_abuse. ex-premie.org/papers/traumatic_abuse.htm. factnet.org/children.html, child abuse in religious cults, sex. families.qld.gov.au/families/publications.html, child protection information sheets. fcbe.edu.on.ca/www/pub/cah. fcbe.edu.on.ca/www/welcome. fldc.cornell.edu, Family Life Development Center. freedhechildren.org fullpower.org. girlsandboystown.org. Girls and Boys Town. Girls and Boys Town, the original Father Flanagan's Boys Home, is a leader in the treatment and care of abused, abandoned, and neglected girls and boys. Go cwi.org/NRCCM, National Resource Center on Child Maltreatment, NRCCM. harborhouse.homepage.com, Harbor House, Northwest Georgia Child Advocacy Center. needhelpnow.ca. mediasmarts.com